J.S. Russell coming to you. About to read the other piece that I put in the Behind the Wall Mentors magazine. Word to Riches by J.S. Russell. My poem Death to the Nigga was published in the 4th issue of the State vs. Us magazine, which was a double cover that featured Rick Ross, not the rapper, and Jamila T. Davis, Trap Queen. Growing up in the crack epidemic, oh yeah, by the way, this the magazine right here. Growing up in the crack era, I was very aware of Rick Ross and interested in his interview because of his legendary role as a hustler and his influence in the game. Ironically, I don't recall much of his interview that involved the streets. What most stood out to me from Rick's interview was that he read 300 books during his incarceration, and the titles of his 3 favorite books of them were Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, both of which I've read several times, but the third was a book that I only heard about. I asked my friend at the time to purchase it for me for my birthday. After reading this book, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason, I thought that it was an excellent way to teach people, young and old, about finances and how to grow their wealth. This book is only a little over 80 pages and tells stories that are both relatable and inspiring. I've read it multiple times, sharing it with guys on the compound, and sent my copy to my daughter. I once read a report from the United Nations which stated that most crimes stem from poverty. And because I feel strongly about financial literacy due to my own experiences with financial hardship, I suggested everyone who hasn't read this book to read it. I currently can't afford to send you all a copy, not yet, but I can share my notes with you. Still, I encourage you to get the book yourself. Don't just read it, apply it. So I'm gonna go down reading my notes from The Richest Man in Babylon. And basically, if you read it, you'll have these same notes because it basically is outlined in every chapter. But starts with a part of all you earn is yours to keep. Pay yourself first, at least 10%. So here's the 7 cures of a lean purse. The language is a little bit different because, it's coming from a different time and where the man is trying to write it in the tongue of, I guess, of that time. But start that purse to fattening, which is pay yourself 10%. Control thy expenditures. In other words, budget. Make thy gold multiply. Basically, invest. Look for opportunities for compounding interest. 4. Well, I numbered them, I ain't say the numbers before. Guard thy treasure from loss. Basically, consult experts before investing. 5. Make thy dwelling a profitable investment. Own your home. Learn how to use equity or whatever you need to be. Tax deferment, what have you. Ensure a future income. Provide in advance for the needs of the growing age and the protection of your family. Increase thy ability to earn. Basically, perfect your craft and your ability to earn will increase. A person must do these things if they respect themselves. They must pay their debts with all the promptness within their power. Pay it on time. Not purchasing that which they are unable to pay. They must take care of their family that they may think and speak well of them. They must make a will of record that, in case the gods call them home, proper and honorable division of their property be accomplished. Basically, get your affairs in order because we all gotta die. Get the paperwork, the trust, the will, whatever, so that your folks are taken care of. That's a lot of times things that people neglect, and it's a very ugly situation after people pass, fighting over nothing, basically. They must have compassion upon those who are injured and smitten by misfortune and aid them within reasonable limits. They must do deeds of thoughtfulness to those dear to them, take action, be decisive, and seize the opportunity. Look out for those who's less fortunate, basically. Then the 5 laws of gold. Gold cometh gladly and increaseth quantity to anyone who will put by not less than 1/10 of their earnings to create an estate for their future and that of their family. Goes back again to paying that 10%. If you can do more, but go ahead and put that 10% aside. Gold laboreth diligently, and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks of the field. Money gonna come to those who make money. Those that know what to do with money, knowing how to manage it, knowing how to invest it, knowing how to multiply it. It just seems like you want to attract it. So that's what you gotta do. Gold clingeth to the protection of the caution owner who invests it under the advice of those wise in its handling. So basically, if you're doing your due diligence, consulting your tax professional, your accountant, everything that you need to, you'll be able to learn how to keep your money. Gold slippeth away from the person who invested in business or purposes with which they are not familiar or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep. Do foolish stuff with your money, it's going to go away. Gold flees the person who would force it to impossible earnings or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers or who trust in their own inexperience and romantic desires in investment. Wealth stayeth to give enjoyment and satisfaction to its owner comes gradually. Because it is a child born of knowledge and persistent purpose, if you want to help a friend, do not in a way that it does bring a burden on you. So, your money is going to be good to you if you're good to it. Do the things that's wise and prudent as far as having it. Now, if you want to mess up a relationship, go ahead and give some money to somebody. You're going to become better when they don't pay it back. So, instead of lending it, give what you can afford not to have back, or whatever you can afford to lose. If you want to be a friend about it, if you're trying to be an investor, then you got to take a whole nother mindset with it. If you want to help, to be without adequate protection when the determination is the way can be found. So basically that concludes everything as far as my notes. So Behind the Wall Mentors magazine, that's just another part that I read, but there's a lot of brothers that put together a lot of stuff in here as far as listening, relationships, what it takes to be a man, what it takes to be a woman, different things to be able to grow and develop the young people. So I gave you a little bit of what I had to say, some of the stuff that I included in this. And like I said, this can be used for adults too. For anybody that wants to, man, make sure you go ahead and pick up that Richest Man in Babylon and definitely pick up this, because we gotta definitely make something happen, change stuff for the youth. J.S. Russell, the Freedom Poet.